Nietzsche has this famous quote in his book, The Genealogy of Morals, where he says, quote, "The meaninglessness of suffering, not the suffering, was the curse that lay over mankind so far." And Viktor Frankl says something very similar in his book, A Man's Search for Meaning, and his concept of logotherapy. He believed that if a man could find a source of enduring meaning in his life, that he could essentially overcome any kind of difficulty. And he noted that those suffering in the concentration camps, those that had some source of meaning behind it, they actually were able to get through that okay. And in Ernest Becker's book, The Denial of Death, he explains how there's sort of this terror and anxiety that arises when we realize through religion or psychoanalysis that the things that give us a sense of identity and purpose and meaning are ultimately illusory because they fade away and they don't save us from death. Tolstoy recognized that essentially everything is meaningless, and a lot of the philosophers have recognized that too. Because everything dies and decays and fades away and nothing lasts, then nothing is ultimately real. It doesn't actually exist if it just fades away ultimately. It was never fully grounded and established in being. And so Tolstoy had this deep existential crisis because of this realization. He realized there's no meaning in my life that isn't undone by death. And so for a long time he lingered in this valley of despair, trying to figure out what justified his existence, what gave life meaning. Because if it didn't have any meaning, what was the point of even living? And what he realized was the only way to solve this problem was to tether your finite life to the infinite. You have to nest your life in something that's bigger than your life, some kind of grand narrative, but a narrative that doesn't end in death. It needs to be infinite. And for Tolstoy, the only way to ascribe meaning to your suffering and your existence was through faith. Faith is that tether from your finite, limited life to the infinite and this infinite narrative. And you can believe in that and act it out, and that's how your life can feel meaningful, is because now it's connected to the infinite, something that lasts forever, that's truly real.